G7 foreign ministers, including Canada's Mark Garneau, meeting in London, England Wednesday. Delegates from India were scheduled to attend in person, but after 2 members of that group tested positive for COVID-19, they had to switch gears and take part virtually as they self-isolate. India now seeing the world's worst surge in COVID-19 cases. And the country just confirming a record rise in single-day fatalities of nearly 4,000. The World Health Organization reporting India accounts for 46% of global cases and 25% of global deaths reported in the past week. India is not a G7 member, but it was invited by Britain to this week's summit, along with Australia, South Africa, and South Korea. As for the G7 foreign ministers, this marks their first face-to-face meeting in 2 years. Now, of course, with COVID health safety measures in place, as talks among the delegates for the wealthy nations turn to working to ensure global access to coronavirus vaccines, laying the groundwork before the summit of G7 leaders in the UK next month.
To protect ourselves locally, we need to act globally.
Speaking at a World Health Organization update this week, former UK Prime Minister and a UN envoy, Gordon Brown, calling for a concerted and immediate push to mass vaccinate the world, underwritten by the richest countries to help the poorest.
And not as an act of charity, but as a matter of national security for each of us, as the best insurance policy in the world.
And he points out that low-income countries account for less than 1% of doses administered to date. And in a letter to the British Foreign Secretary, as shared by The Guardian, Brown writes, closing that gap is not just a moral imperative, but an urgent medical necessity for combating COVID-19 and preventing it mutating and threatening every country, rich or poor. Back to India, international aid continues to touch down. This shipment from Australia. And more support is coming from Canada. Up to 25,000 vials of the antiviral Remdesivir and up to 350 ventilators are going to the hard-hit country, confirms Global Affairs Canada. That's on top of $10 million through the Red Cross. Melissa Duggan, City News.